How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are looking at a video by Joel Beckman. The thumbnail says Oil and Water. One of the most difficult dogs in my career. Brutally stubborn, ornery, and too smart for his own good. So oftentimes, when I hear someone labeling a dog as brutally stubborn, ornery, or they're a jerk, or they're whatever else he calls them, one, I feel that they're projecting. So I think that the person who is labeling the dog is projecting their own self onto the dog. Anyone who labels an animal like that, I believe that the label belongs to the person. So I think that he is stubborn. I think he is ornery. I don't think he's too smart for his own good, but he's too powerful for his own good compared to a dog. We're going to get started right away. So
there's the mouth, there's the bite.
Muzzled dog trying to defend themselves.
On the mouth open.
That looks like play. That dog there jumped down on their back on purpose. If we can figure out how to go back a couple of seconds. Watch this dog. Flips around and onto his back for a second. Prince takes advantage of that. You know, dogs can do what they call handicapping themselves, where they lay down on the floor to give the other dog the upper hand, and then vice versa. And it's equal play. But this dog may or may not have meant to do that. So he gets up and he corrects Prince, and Prince says, "Whoa, okay, all right, I got it, dude, no problem." Give a little lip lick, backed away.
This intact 11-month-old English Cream Retriever is one of the most emotionally intelligent, athletic, stubborn, and dominant dogs I've ever trained.
Okay, so the way he says stubborn, he says dominant, all of these are labels of what he thinks the dog is. The dog is not. The dog is not necessarily stubborn. The dog is not dominant. If anything, his dog is dominant. Dominance is a behavioral, is a behavior, not a behavioral trait. It's a momentary behavior. So if he corrected Prince over a bone and Prince moves away and he gets the bone, he's dominant in that moment. If Prince does the same thing and he moves away, Prince is dominant in that moment. It is not a behavioral trait, except for if you raise a bully like Prince, which is not Prince's fault. Prince gets away with far too much and is raised by this bully. So, he's a product of his environment. So this is not anything personal against Prince, but Prince is the one who often gets away with more dominant behavior than he should for his own good.
Do a video breakdown of him meeting
So we got
Prince.
a stiff
He looks
tail.
pretty good, right?
He looks interested. We got a tall tail, a little bit of a stiff wag.
What does this look
Stimulated.
tell you in your gut? Doesn't
Close
look
mouth.
perfect by any means. Then you kind of look at him and you go,
Hackles are starting to raise.
he looks pretty good. He looks nice. And he does. And he is nice.
And then he
But
moves
you
away.
gotta
So either somebody called him away or he moved away on his own. So if we're going to have a dog in here with another dog with a muzzle, I want both dogs muzzled. If I had my Shiba meeting another dog and I wasn't sure about the other dog and we had them muzzled, I would have my Shiba muzzled as well, because I want everybody on the same playing ground. I want everyone on the same level, especially with a dog like Prince, who is able to get away with far more than a correction is necessary. Far more than is necessary for a correction. Meaning, he won't just nip him and tell him, "Hey, back off." He will go overboard. And so this guy cannot defend himself.
Take those little looks.
So the fact that he runs right up to Prince, stiff, tall tail, he is intact. Prince is bowing his head, so he's not helping anything. His ears are back. This dog runs right up to him. That's a very rude greeting. That's a very confident, you could say cocky greeting. It's a very bold greeting that I wouldn't necessarily like, especially, if both dogs were muzzled and we were just going to see what happens, then fine. Then we could do that. But that's a last resort for me. I would much rather the dogs meet with different body language. I would work with a dog at a distance before I let them meet another dog like this.
What they are. Now look at Prince. Look at his head cantered. Prince is like,
So Prince immediately marks. That's very dominant behavior. He says, hey, look at my strength. Look at me bowing up my head. That's very cocky behavior. So no wonder this dog runs up to him very cocky, hackles up, tail very tall and stiff, rude, and also rude.
I don't want to fight. Now notice the tail.
Oh, Prince doesn't want to fight. Baloney. Prince is asking for a fight. He marked there immediately, bowed his head, puts his head over the other dog. This is the most cocky, dominant behavior I could imagine in a dog. This dog has his ears back. He has a muzzle on. He might as well be handcuffed. And he's going up against, I don't know, your typical villain in a comic book.
That's one of the first things you're going to notice probably.
So he is the first to give a wag. He goes and sniffs.
Is happy, quote unquote happy.
No, I wouldn't say this dog is necessarily happy. He might be giving more of a calming signal to Prince because Prince is very stiff. Not moving.
Trained this dog. This is the first meeting, but I've trained him. It isn't pure happiness. In a way, that's
a stiff tail. He still hasn't really moved at all. He's not wagging his what little of a tail he has left. If you didn't know, Dobermans do have a very long natural tail, and naturally floppy ears, which makes it difficult for them to be able to interact with other dogs because when we take these things away, they're able to express themselves less, and they're able to make it less clear.
The game of it more than Prince.
So now it looks like they might be holding eye contact, stiff tail.
Prince doesn't really love the game,
but still he gives a play bow and then they go into play.
That was a play bow into a jump. It's a pretty cool move that most dogs have never learned. He sort of feigns the play bow to get into a dominance jump.
Okay, no, I'm gonna mute him because he doesn't make any sense at all. It's not a dominance jump. At least I don't see it as a dominance jump. You know, they're wrestling, they're jumping, they're playing. He's playing this in slow motion. Yeah, having the two faces there that, close together could be an issue, but, that's why we have the muzzle on, but it would be better if both dogs were muzzled. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of times dogs play with their mouth. Tail still very high. Hackles are up. Both dogs are intact, meaning they both have their balls. Goes and sniffs. This dog says, hey. He has a little bit of a more of a stimulated wag, so less of a stiff wag, more of a, hey, come on, let's play. It's, he's reading the room a little bit better than Prince. Prince is just very stiff and doesn't move very fluidly. So now they're waiting to see what's going to happen. And you can see his tail goes from a very loose to kind of more of a stiff wag to a little bit more loose again. And then they go into the play. Stand off again. Okay, so now this could be more of a dominance move where he says, hey, you're being stiff. You're bowing up on me a lot. I want to get the upper hand. I don't know what this dog is actually thinking. This is just what a guess into what they could be going on through their mind. But now he is on top. That is more of a dominance move. And he's sitting there. I don't know if he's growling or not. So it didn't show the correction that Joel gave the dog. They didn't show that. They didn't show if Joel gave the dog a correction at all. I imagine that he did.
Sensitizing to each other. This is
again, Prince is always marking on everything. Everything.
Part of dogs getting along is just being around each other, and that's where these muzzles come in handy.
Only for the other dog, though, not for your dog. This dog isn't even really properly conditioned. He's still trying to paw the muzzle off.
Nobody has to freak out. Nobody has to be tense because one of the dogs or both of the dogs is in a muzzle, so everyone can relax.
Both dogs should be in a muzzle. I'm just going to mute it. Otherwise, this video will be like 10 years long. So then, again, he wants to go play. He's getting irritated by the muzzle. Wants to play again. A lot of times, dogs like this will try to, especially shepherds or collies or certain breeds, will try to really push it and irritate you to get you to want to chase them or play with them. So this is all play. More play. Good, healthy play. Okay, now Prince there looked like and he's going to play it back in slow motion. Prince looked like he was getting a little bit more stiff and more dominant, kind of holding him there, trying to get him away from him, and he pushed him off. That's what I see. I mean, I'm not an animal behavior, so I wouldn't know if this means something. But then he gets stiff. He walks around stiffly. He's following him. I still see this as we see a little bit of the whites of his eyes, but he has short, closed lips. This dog does have an open mouth, it looks like to me. So it looks like he's still just looking at him for play, but he looks a little bit nervous. He, being Prince, looks nervous. Okay, so he walked away. So out of that, Prince said, "You know what? I'm a little bit nervous. You're maybe he's too much for him or whatever it is." And Prince says, "I'm nervous. I'm going to walk away." And there was another cut there. Go back to playing. Prince puts his head over the other dog. This guy looks like he still wants to play. Good. Finally, an open mouth from Prince, which is a good sign. That's more play. That's that's better communication. Prince is still trying to get behind the dog, trying to sniff, which is kind of a rude behavior still. Constantly trying to size up the other dog. Mouth closes again. Okay, now he's relaxing a bit more. Again, not properly conditioned muzzle. The dog is still trying to paw it off. And the reason why I want to see a properly conditioned muzzle is because I want to see that the dog is not distracted by the muzzle. I don't want them to feel trapped by the muzzle. I want them to be able to feel it like it's just been there forever. It's just part of their body. It hasn't actually been there forever, but they've been conditioned to it, to be comfortable with it. And they're able to focus more on what they're training on, what we're training, versus being distracted by the muzzle. So he comes and takes a little sniff of Prince. He's still very much interested in Prince. You know, he doesn't go and sniff around on his own. He is still very interested in Prince. So that's something that I would absolutely watch. I'm not saying that this dog can do no, oh, what a sweetheart. I'm not saying this dog can do no good or is evil or bad or anything. I'm just saying that that's behavior that I would look out for, just like behavior I would look out for from Prince. So notice as soon as this dog lays down, Prince goes over because he wants to go stand over the dog. The dog says, "No, I'm not comfortable with that." Prince freezes, still an open mouth. Dog looks at him. He looks away, moves away. Okay. And then he says, "All right, let's play." Still bothered by the muzzle. They do a lot of staring and a lot of this kind of standoff behavior, which is better that they're doing it perpendicular to each other versus face to face.
A little more when he's a year and a half.
Again, still trying to get the muzzle off. Prince isn't running around. Okay, there we go. Now he's a little bit more. I mean, Prince isn't acting very much like he wants to necessarily play. He just keeps coming over and just kind of hovering over this dog. All right, now this is more play. There we go. But Prince still continually goes to sniff the privates, goes to sniff and put his head over him. And this dog here could be taking this a little bit. Now, see, he launched forward, but he didn't seem like he was putting his mouth on him. This whole time, I haven't seen this dog actually try to, go after Prince with his mouth, with the muzzle on his body. So this could just be this dog's play style. I'm not going to say it's any form of dominance or anything like that. Again, just playing. Again, I don't necessarily like this sizing up type thing. This is what I see, is them sizing each other up. Some dogs, if I know the dogs and I know that they just do this as just a way to play, hey, ready? Okay, let's go, kind of thing, then that's one thing. But to me, with these two dogs, with the behavior I've seen, I feel like they're sizing up. That could have been, it's kind of like sparring. So this dog takes that personal and says, "Hey, back off." And as soon as he goes up to Prince, he gives a lip lick. So Prince goes to push on him. Prince gets on top of him. He rolls over, pushes Prince away, shows his teeth. Prince says, "Oh, okay, my bad." And this dog says, "Hey, enough, that was too much." Prince says, "Okay, I get it." Moves away. This dog continues to make sure he got the message. Lip lick. Lip lick from both of them. And then open mouth panting, and he says, "Okay, we're good, we're cool." But notice he didn't try to go after him with his teeth still. He's not going at him with his, the muzzle is not making contact with him, other than that was like an air snap. So this is not really a dog that I would still say is aggressive. So Prince moves away. I would separate them at that point because I don't want him continuously following Prince. Prince tends to circle a lot. I don't know where Prince is going. Prince is going to go in the water now. This dog may or may not want to go in the water. Following each other. So Prince is deliberately choosing to get a good bit of distance from this dog, and this dog is continuing to follow. Okay, yeah, let's go baby or the bully. He's fine, dude. Chill. All right, so now we let them out here in the field where they have time to run. This is where I would have started. I would have started out here in the field, or as he calls it, the pasture, because they have more room to move in that tight quartered area. Because they're able to get room, they're able to run, get the piss and vinegar out of them, get some energy out. This dog ran over because he was getting a little bit too, maybe into the prey drive, or he was just pushing a little bit too much. He goes over. That would be a little nip on Prince. And Prince here is going to tell him, hey, just looks at him and says, hey, knock it off. And the dog says, whoa, okay, I get it. That's all he needed was just that look. Lip lick. Okay, a little bit of nervousness. Okay, got it. And that was it. Shake off. Not only to shake off the water, but probably to shake off the stress from that moment. Back to playing. Now, this dog might be one of those dogs that likes to go over and antagonize you. Like, it looks like he wants to be chased. Now he's rolling around in the dirt. I'm sure the owner will appreciate that. Still pawing off the muzzle. See, here, he has less interest in Prince, and he has more interest in the environment, which is where I would start. I wouldn't start cooped up in a small area. He's going to go smell where Prince is. If Prince is marking, he's going to go smell that. Maybe he might mark on top of it, saying, hey, I was here too. He doesn't go marking on top of everything, even though he's an intact male, which I think is a good sign. So Prince says, I'm going to go chew on some wood, maybe, maybe not. This other dog says, hey, I'd like to, but I can't because this damn muzzle's on me. Otherwise, I would like to partake in some wood chewing with you. Communal wood chewing. And the dog says, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave. So now, just approaching Joel, the dog goes submissive. So how many times has Joel tried to catch this dog that made this dog want to go submissive? It could be he's tried to catch him once or 10 times. How many times has he corrected this dog? Is it that this is the first time he's done it? I don't know. But dogs keep us honest. So now he's grabbing the dog's collar.
Put Prince in the house, please.
Bending over him. Prince won't leave him alone.
All right. This dog will use his mouth somewhat hard to get you to stop. 10-month-old dog to get you to stop holding his collar and taking him somewhere he doesn't want to go.
Well, probably because he feels trapped. Is that the other reason why you put the muzzle on? I mean, I can teach a dog to follow me without ever having to put my hand on their muzzle. Oh. I can teach a dog to follow me without ever having to put my hand on their collar. I can teach a dog to accept me having my hand on their collar, but not like this. There's a difference between this and this. And saying, hey, come this way. Or come this way. Follow me this way. There's a lot of different ways to do that versus grabbing them by the collar like this. Nobody's going to like it when you do that. I guarantee he certainly wouldn't like it, and he would fight it too.
But dogs sometimes have to be taken places they don't want to go. So
sure, but you don't have to do it the way he's doing. Absolutely. There's going to be times when dogs need to be taken, but not like this, not aggressively dragged somewhere they don't want to go, because that's just a stupid way to do it and a dangerous way to do it.
Trying to take him back to the room.
So walk over there. He'll follow you. Put him on leash. You don't have to necessarily sensitize him. And yes, you're making him sensitive to it. So you're sensitizing the dog to having hands around his throat and his collar, because you're so aggressive and you don't realize it, or you don't care.
Has her arms all scraped up from his nails, doing this, and his mouth. Okay, open that one.
Then don't go grab his collar. It's very simple. If you need to, then just go put a leash on his collar. Teach him that when you grab for his collar, he gets a reward. And you can teach him to nicely and very lightly walk, like with a horse that neck reins, but with a dog that knows how to walk and give gently to pressure. This being a little bit of pressure, and the dog listens to a finger's worth of pressure on any part of their body, but not gripping, death grip, dragging, scaring them, hurting them, choking them.
Come on.
Of course, he's not going to come when you're doing that.
So, this is not a democracy. I'm not begging. I'm not getting treats out. That's what the owners have done.
Well, you're an idiot. The owners are doing, the owners might not be doing it the way I would either, but if I wanted to get this dog to come in, I would just walk backwards. I'd create a draw. I would get a treat out, but I would have it. I'm not going to show it to him. I'm going to say, hey, come here. I'm going to walk backwards. As soon as he follows me, I reward him for that behavior. I maybe have him do a sit, whatnot. And at a different time, he's telling me he needs work on having his collar touched and following the pressure on his collar. So I would work on that. I would gently touch his collar, move away, reward. Reach for his collar, not touch it, reward. Then touch his collar, move around the collar, put a little bit of pressure on it, let go, reward. And then I would have pressure on it, putting pressure on it and luring him with the treat to move forward as he feels the pressure on the collar. That's what I would do. And the dog would never fight with me. But we could also do it his way and have to put a muzzle on the dog so it doesn't bite you.
We're over doing this. Come on, but I'll be nice.
You're not nice. You're a liar.
You're like, come on, let's go. And then you see him hunker down. This is his hunker down. Okay?
This is learned helplessness.
Generally, people let go at this point. Okay? Then he's going to start to use his mouth most likely. Look at this.
Because he feels trapped.
There's his mouth. That's when people let go. Okay? We're over.
So how did you get him up, Joel? The most important thing is, how did you get this dog up from the ground in that cut? Out of this whole video, you choose to cut that moment when you... Out of this whole video, this is when you choose to cut? To show how you aggressively dragged this dog up from the ground?
This is why he's here. This is why.
Well, then the owners are just as dumb as you are if they have to go to a board and train to teach their dog to come in when grabbing their collar. It is as simple. It is such a simple fix. You can Google it. You don't need to do this. You don't need to spend $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 on this guy to abuse your animal and make them even more collar shy. That I guarantee they will be more collar shy when they go home after working with him than if these people had just worked with any other trainer or done Google search. Look up Kiko Pup. I'm sure she has Kikopup. Her name is Emily. I'm sure she has or Happy Hounds dog training. I'm sure they have videos on their channel that would detail how to get your dog to come in, desensitized to the collar.
Here, he needs to know that he doesn't get out of this.
This is learned helplessness.
Played and ran with Prince. Let's go. And there's the mouth.
It's fighting. This is fight or flight.
He's 10 months old. He doesn't want to go.
No, he doesn't want to go now because he's afraid of you. You're hurting him. You're scaring him. He knows he's muzzled. This is fight or flight. Tail is
So
lower.
he's saying, there's the mouth, there's the bite, there's the threat on the mouth open. I switch my arm in order to grab the collar, not to bait him, and then you can see the mouth open right there. This would not have been a bite. It is just a little bit of a threat for him to say.
It's not a threat. He's saying, let go of me. You're hurting me. He's putting his hand on you. Doggone it. Would you leave that alone? You leave it alone. Leave it alone. You're cute. Hi. That's my finger. Ow. That's my finger.
Take your hand off.
This dog is saying, get off of me.
You can't take your hands off him. That's why these muzzles are really a good thing for certain.
You're an idiot.
Certain situations, because the
So long
dog
as you're
really
safe.
doesn't understand the muzzle, but he for the first time goes, oh, the guy or the girl didn't let go. Everyone lets go.
He's learning that this is he's developing learned helplessness. That's my hand. You're so cute. It's my finger.
There's going to be another move right here. Watch me back him up. This is an important
More abusive technique. More aggressive, unnecessary technique to make sure this dog has completely developed learned helplessness.
subtle move. It lets him know that I won't be.
And then he forced to sit. I guarantee it. I don't know why he cut that, but he forced to sit.
Move. Come on.
Oh, now we're going to be, oh, come on. Screw you, dude.
Oh. Now we have a dog for the first time
That has developed learned helplessness from this aggressive bully who wants to tell me how to train dogs.
in his life is being taken by the collar and is going where the person asked him to go.
Didn't ask him. You forced him. You aggressive, abusive bully. Now he's just going to take the dog everywhere he wants to. Learned helplessness. That's going to do it for this video. I've been going long enough. I'll throw in some cute videos of Ellie here to make things a little bit more happy towards the end of how she's been playing in the window over here. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this video. Go say hi to your little critters. Go say hi to do for me. Give them some kind of love and they appreciate. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.